Hey guys, welcome back to a Talking Oscars segment. The Critics' Choice Awards have passed, and so this is also a reaction video, but I'm also going to predict the Best Supporting Actress one final time before I do my final Oscar predictions. I'm going to run through that as to show you where I'm at. Um, so, uh, I I actually waited. Normally, I do my talking Oscars for the week, but I felt like I kept making random posts because there was like the DGA, SGA, and PGA, and so I was like, well, I'm gonna make one for Best Supporting Actress, and then I was like, ah, God, dude, Critics' Choice is on Sunday, and I was like, you know what? I'll just push Best Supporting Actress back. It's not like I'm not like a TV network. Nobody's looking for me to air certain things on certain nights of the week. So, to save, I know most people, they just like to spam people with videos. I really don't intend to do that. I could have made two separate videos and I'm sure my view count would have risen, but um, yeah. Anyway, Critics' Choice. So I did pretty well. I got about half. I spent the whole time going through each category and being like, what are the critics like? Like, what are the critics gonna vote for? And some of it really surprised me. There were some choices that they made that, based on the critics that I read and the critics that I follow, I do try to shape myself in film. By the way, like, I believe I can always learn and move forward. So I'm not just a monolith that gets my opinion uh, from only staring at a screen all day. I do read other people's like theories on films and their thoughts. So some of this didn't surprise me. So Everything Everywhere All at Once for Best Picture, I voted for that. I knew that that was where that was going to go. Um, I think I did have Banshees at number two. That felt like maybe if everything uh, was too weird, if there were enough old critics, but I feel like Everything Everywhere has been a film. If you look at the critics' circles, it's been doing really well with critics' circles. Tar was another film that I considered. I ranked that really high. Gold Derby had Avatar really high. I was like, they're not going to give this to Avatar. No, they have films that are critical darlings. Like, I thought RRR was far more likely to get Best Picture than Avatar, and RRR was down at the bottom. I was like, nah. You got to think about, this is the critics' chance to show people this is what we like, which is why in Best Director, I absolutely predicted the Daniels. Steven Spielberg was favored to win, and I picked the Daniels. I was like, he's not going to win it here. The critics are going to pick the Daniels. They liked the Fablemans. They didn't love the Fablemans, and the Daniels are the kind of director that critics love. Steven Spielberg for the Fablemans is just not gonna happen. Um, I also bested by not predicting. Um, I hope these help my score, because since I did miss a chunk, the ones that I predicted ended up, a lot of them were not the first choices. Like, I predicted the upset. I went with the second or the third choice. Brendan Fraser was second choice. When I looked at Gold Derby and projected, they were projecting Colin Farrell. I grabbed Brendan Fraser. I was like, no, he's gonna win. Every critic has loved him, even if they've hated the film. Um, so I don't think there's one critic that has been negative to Brendan Fraser. I've seen somebody who, I saw a critic put it on their bottom 10 worst 10 films of the year list, and that person was still complimentary to Brendan Fraser. So, um, he is impervious in this Oscar race. It doesn't matter how much you hate the whale, people will still vote for him. Um, so yeah, I think he's still the front runner. The only reason the Globes didn't do it is because Brendan Fraser was actively campaigning against them. Um, I also picked Kate Blanchett because this is Critics' Choice, not the Oscars. Michelle Yeoh has a much better chance at the Oscars of upsetting, as people actually weigh the option. Do we give Kate Blanchett a third Academy Award? Or do we go to Michelle Yeoh? And that is a much stronger battle there. But this is not the Oscars. This is Critics' Choice. It doesn't matter. I don't know. I don't know how many times Kate Blanchett's won a Critics' Choice Awards. Do you? You know, like off the top of your head, can you? I have no idea. So of course I pick Kate Blanchett. Critics have done nothing but praise her performance, and she carries the film, just like Brendan Fraser does. So it's not a dig against Michelle Yeoh at all. It's just critics love Tar, and they love Kate Blanchett, and I figured she'd win. So I did, but I did not stop. Ke Huy Quan is no one. Has anybody won a supporting actor trophy other than Ke Huy Quan? Has anybody beat him in any other awards ceremony? Does anybody win anything but him? Um, it's sort of a weird thing to ask, but I feel like he's won everything. I feel like he's such a lock at this point. I don't know who else could possibly win. I did not pick Angela Bassett. I did not think she was the critics' pick here. I was looking at some of the other choices that they had, and they had Carrie Condon from the much well-reviewed Banshees of Inisherin. Stephanie Hsu has actually done really well with critics groups, so I thought maybe this was their chance, the critics' chance to get her back in the Oscar race in a strong way. A strong finish from the critics' choice maybe could elevate her, give her a little bit more of a platform. But no, they went with Angela Bassett, which is so weird because I feel like they voted. I feel like the Critics' Choice people voted and had their voting closed, so that the Golden Globes win didn't affect their voting. I don't think people just swung into Angela Bassett. That's two groups within the last week that have just chosen Angela Bassett. So, I think she's really in the race. I think people want to hand her a trophy, is the thing. So, people want to give Jamie Lee Curtis a nomination, but they want to give Angela Bassett a trophy. There you go. That's what you have this season. That's what I'm saying. And then we have Ensemble. I got that wrong. I really thought it was going to be women talking. I haven't heard a single critic say anything negative really about the film. It's always about like color grading, or how the film feels more like a play. But the cast is where everybody comes out. That is where the critics just fall over themselves, and just the cast is amazing. They're like, it's so hard to choose just one. Well, you have women talking. Here's your opportunity. Oh, you didn't pick it? Well, fuck off. All right, so I'm not predicting this shit anymore. I'm tired of predicting women talking for Oscars. Nobody seems to like the film. Everybody talks about how much they like it, but when push comes to shove, they don't vote for it. Everybody's like, oh my god, I love women talking. And then they don't vote for it. They vote for Glass Onion, which, okay, I mean, that's fair, but, you know, it has not gotten the same reception Women Talking has gotten among critics. So the same kind of universal, oh my god, the whole cast was amazing, versus Glass Onion, where you go, Janelle Monáe was amazing. You know, I just don't. Nobody's clamoring for some of those performances in Glass Onion. Nobody's up there going like, you know what would be really cool? Kate Hudson, supporting actress, Glass Onion. Whereas Glass Onion, you know, there's the great debate. Oh, should it be Jessie Buckley or Claire Foy? What about Rooney Mara? You know, just gets into a different debate. So if they pick Glass Onion for Best Ensemble, cool. Fuck it. I'm done predicting Women Talking. And I'm done hearing people talk about Women Talking. It did win Adapted, so yay. It won, oh my god, a weak category. When you actually, I was looking at the category, I was like, God, this is a sad category. Because I didn't think She Said would win, I didn't think The Whale would win, and I didn't think Living would win. So I was like, it's either going to be Women Talking or Glass Onion. And Women Talking beat Glass Onion there. And for original, I guessed wrong. They did vote for Everything Everywhere, where Martin McDonagh has pretty much been sweeping for Banshees. and is the front runner there. I picked him. He's the screenwriter, you know, and they went with the Daniels script, which is cool. I mean, it is original in concept. Um, I don't. I think that Martin's script is maybe better, well written in terms of what he did with it. But anyway, um, we'll see what happens at the Oscars. It does give sort of make a little interesting note. I still think Banshees is ahead at the Oscars in that category. Uh, Cinematography, I predicted Top Gun Maverick. That was pretty easy. Editing, I got Everything Everywhere. That was pretty easy. And then it started to fall apart for me. Costume design, I didn't go with Black Panther Wakanda Forever because I was like, they've seen those costumes before. I've heard a lot about the Woman King, so I actually had the Woman King up there for costume design. I was like, my thought process was, okay, so what could they vote for other than Black Panther Wakanda Forever? And I thought perhaps the Woman King would win here as being a historical epic, truly a historical epic, not just like a Marvel film. Um, I think Black Panther won costume design at the Oscars the first time around, so this kind of puts an interesting note that the sequel will win again, potentially. I also predicted The Whale for makeup, although when I did that, I was like, yeah, Elvis really has a great shot here. But I stuck with The Whale, and now I know Elvis is the front runner, I think. I think people are more inclined, instead of voting for Brendan Fraser in the fat suit, to vote for Elvis, the aging of Austin Butler, and the use of latex on him as Elvis progresses through time. Pretty much Brendan Fraser just has to sit there in a suit, and that is all the makeup that was required. But Elvis has to evolve, so he has many different looks. And also Tom Hanks, I think, is wearing a ton of makeup from what I understand in Elvis. So I got that one wrong. But then these are visual categories, guys. Kind of a shot in the dark here. The fact that I'm getting any of them right, I got cinematography right just based on like word of mouth. Like, if you think I know that cinematography in Top Gun Maverick was great, of course I don't. Is it what I would vote for? I have no idea. I have no idea. So it's fun voting for these weird categories. I hate the fact that Tar won score. I really do. I don't even remember the score to Tar. Like, I liked Tar. I gave it an A. I don't remember the score to Tar. It was so unimpactful to me. I've seen The Batman once, and I can remember the score to that film. I remember how Michael Giacchino's score to The Batman made me feel. I remember how I was like, oh my god, this is definitely as good as what Chris Nolan was getting for his films. I think it's an iconic score that is not getting enough attention, and I really did think, because when it missed the shortlist, I thought the critics would go for the Batman, because it was their one last chance to say, you guys fucked up. You messed up. The Batman should have been shortlisted. Tar wasn't even projected. Golden Derby didn't even have Tar. Tar was, I think, in last, or it was either last or second to last of the nominees. They thought Babylon was going to win. Justin Hurwitz was the projected winner for Babylon. So I think even John Williams' score for The Fabelmans, which is limited, but the Tar, half of that is she's working towards a Mahler symphony. Like, what is the score here? Like, what are we doing? Why are we nominating films that don't have full scores? Why are we giving them prizes? So, I don't know. Maybe I need to rewatch Tar and just focus and be like, okay, let's listen to this score. But yeah, I just didn't do it. I don't remember it at all. And the fact that it was not awarded Best Original over scores I do remember, even I would have been okay with Pinocchio. I think that has a great score too. But nah, critics got that one wrong. I don't even care that I missed that one because I so wholeheartedly disagree with that. Original song was tough for me. I didn't know if Naatu Naatu could win versus. I should have realized that all of the pop songs are going to be divisive based on who likes what artist, and Naatu Naatu sort of stands out differently. And I think going into the Oscars, I think that's what I'm going to remember. Is Naatu Naatu. If you like that, uh, it's going to be RR's, I think, big chance. I don't think, as awesome as Lady Gaga's Hold My Hand is and how 80s they made it feel, it just doesn't seem to be able to break out and beat the uniqueness of Naatu Naatu. So I had Hold My Hand, and I should have had not. Ironically, Naatu Naatu was my number two. I had a sneaking suspicion. I was like, I don't know. And then I was like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing here. On Gold Derby, you can double down your predictions, and I doubled down on the right categories, motherfuckers. I don't know how many points I'm going to get for it, but both of the categories I doubled down on, I got. And they were the safest categories. I picked Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio for Best Animated Feature, and I picked RRR for Best Non-English Language Film. Yep. Smartest decision I made. So I got the boost in the score from having my score boosted from whatever. I mean, granted, they were the front runners, but not every front runner won. But I knew that those two would be the front runners that would. So I super bet on those. Visual effects, Avatar. I probably could have super bet on that one too. I think Avatar was always going to win. And what else? Comedy. I did not pick Glass Onion. I actually picked Bros, to be honest, and I thought it was a wild swing when I picked it. But I was like, you know what? It's the one actual, true, real comedy. That and Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Glass Onion is kind of like a murder mystery. It's not like a laugh out loud, rolling in the aisle hilarious. But if you're going by like laugh per minute, if people are actually like thinking about comedy, like the true comedy of it, and Bros was well reviewed, that's why I got in there. It's the only place that it could have actually won something. So I thought maybe they would go for Bros. I also thought there was an outside chance of Triangle of Sadness. There was one chance to really give an award to Triangle of Sadness too. But then went with Glass Onion. So critics love Glass Onion more than I thought they did, I guess. I think those are all the major categories. I don't know if I forgot something, but yeah, so I got like half right. I'm noticing that it's becoming harder for me to predict the visual categories down at the bottom. When you think about the fact that I got picture, director, and 3 of the 4 acting categories right. Best young actor, actress. I did not go with Gabriel LaBelle. He was my number 2. I thought they would go with Frankie Corio from Aftersun, because Aftersun is more of a critical darling than The Fabelmans is. Gabriel has had a good run. I also thought there was a possibility for Sadie Sink, because a lot of people praised her performance in The Whale. I know she's a little bit abrasive in that film, but I thought actually this was going to be the opportunity to introduce the world to Frankie Corio. And I don't know, it just didn't happen. So that's what happened at the Critics' Choice Awards. Over on the TV side, I don't really need to talk about that, but I will say that I don't think I predicted the winners, although there was a lot of really obvious stuff there. Paul Walter Hauser again for Blackbird, he's amazing in that. Jennifer Coolidge for The White Lotus, these people were always going to win. Abbott Elementary for Best Comedy. I mean, some of those were just givens. So yeah, and then like I said before, there's the Zendaya effect, which it's a virus that we all have inside of us, where you don't know that you have it, but you don't know until you've actually been given the opportunity to vote for Zendaya for Euphoria. It doesn't really matter what you're voting in or for. Like if you were to vote for Where Are We Eating Lunch Today, and you're like, okay, so your options are Subway, McDonald's, Taco Bell, Olive Garden, and Zendaya for Euphoria, and you put that to your employees, you'll be like, the winner is Zendaya for Euphoria. I think if she ran as a third party candidate in in the Euphoria party, Zendaya for Euphoria, I think she'd win. I know she's too young, but I think she'd win anyway. I think people just for some reason we just I I think she could win in at a time if you just convinced people that there was a season of Euphoria that they just didn't see. Like, run her when there isn't a season of Euphoria. Run her when she technically doesn't qualify, and I swear to God, she'll win. People will just assume they saw it, and they'll be like, "Oh my God, but she was amazing this season, right?" It's like, yeah, she was great. I remember that one episode. Yeah, great. Yeah, no, it's a thing. So, um, I know people who vote for her that have never seen Euphoria. So, and they're just like, yeah, Zendaya's great in Euphoria. I was like, have you seen Euphoria? No. What? Anyway, so it's a weird thing for me. But do you watch Euphoria? No. But you vote for Zendaya? Yeah. Why? Is there no one else that you liked? So that's why I made that joke. Anyway, best supporting actress. I'm gonna go with Carrie Condon, Angela Bassett, Jamie Lee Curtis. Um, and then it gets a little bit more complicated there. I'm gonna put those three are up in a category unto themselves, and then it's like, what do we do for the other two? Um, I think SAG's nomination of Stephanie Hsu definitely puts her in consideration. So I'm willing to say that the movement on Everything Everywhere is so strong that Stephanie Hsu will get in. Seems to be no movement for Women Talking. The Whale is doing okay at the box office. It's still a divisive film. It doesn't really matter how well it's doing at the box office. It doesn't change the fact that it's a divisive film. And that some people may hate it enough to not vote for anything but Brendan Fraser. So that fifth spot though, that becomes the one where I wouldn't tell you who to pick. I would say you pick who your heart desires. Because I could find a problem with pretty much any nominee at this point. That nominee should be Michelle Williams. And I'd been saying for a long time that I think Michelle Williams will get a supporting actress nomination. And I still think that could happen. I just can't vote for her on Gold Derby because nobody will realize that that's what happened to her at SAG. Everybody's like, oh my God, she got snubbed. And then some people realize she shouldn't have changed categories. And it's like, yeah, but at the Oscars, they actually can vote for her in supporting actress, just like they did at the SAG. And she could possibly get in a category that's spread that wide open. She might sneak in. She could be the fifth nominee at the Oscars. I don't think enough people have considered that, and nobody has talked about it. Because that's obviously what happened at SAG. She didn't get nominated in lead actress. She also didn't get nominated in supporting. She's vote splitting because she decided to run for a category in which she does not fit. Now, who's her competition for that fifth spot? She's got Hong Chow for The Whale, who's hit a couple places but not everywhere. She's got like Janelle Monáe for The Glass Onion, which I don't know that The Glass Onion is. I mean, Knives Out only got a screenplay nomination. Are we really gonna predict it for more? It's hard enough to believe that we're about to nominate an actress for a Marvel movie without also nominating Janelle Monáe in the same category. You've got the Women Talking actresses that seem to have fallen off the face of the planet. You've got Carey Mulligan in a film that I don't think anybody has seen. You've got all these people that are down there at the bottom, trying to get attention. And the best answer that I have for you is I think that fifth spot is either going to go to Dolly De Leon or Michelle Williams will actually pick up enough votes and get a supporting actress nomination. So that's where I'm at. I'm not predicting Michelle Williams in lead. Somebody's going to be left out. Just to recap, I think it's too tight in the lead. I think Ana de Armas has been given too many times. We've seen her pop up recently. I think she could be like the Kristen Stewart. A lot of people wondered whether or not Kristen Stewart could get nominated for Spencer. Plus, you have the Penelope Cruz effect, where someone came in out of nowhere and got a nomination last year when there were other people that seemed more likely to get that nomination. And I think Ana de Armas would surprise the shit out of a lot of people to get that nomination. So I'm not predicting Michelle Williams in lead. She's either not going to be nominated this year or she's going to be nominated in supporting. I can't pick her in supporting for Gold Derby, so I think I'm going to go with Dolly De Leon for Triangle of Sadness as my 5th spot. It's a very weird category, and it's very clear to me that there is no frontrunner. I mean, you could say Angela Bassett, but you still have to convince Oscar voters to vote for a Marvel movie for acting, and her performance is not that large. She doesn't have that much screen time. So there you go. There's my Critics' Choice reactions, my supporting actors predictions, all in one nice video. It's long as shit, but at least I didn't make multiple videos for you to watch that were both like long. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. The next time you see, well, I don't know. There might be some other guild or something that I comment on, but I'm working towards my official final Oscar nominations. And that's where my head is at right now for supporting actress. It may change between now and my final video. This weird category. Please subscribe, and you can go to my website, macthemovieguy.com. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at macthemovieguy. You can go to the audio description project, adp.acb.org. It'll let you know what has an audio description and where you can watch it. And you can go to the adna.org, theadna.org, and it'll let you know who is working on the narration for your favorite films and television series. That's it for me. I will see you guys on the other side.